Okay, in this video, we're going to take a look at a data set from day one, and we're going to look how to get the 5-number summary as well as some other information from the IQ column. Again, let's note that this is a quantitative variable, IQ. I'm going to go ahead and copy my IQ. I'm going to work down here. Okay. The first thing I need to do is I'm actually going to sort it, although you don't need to just yet, but you will have to later on. So let me go ahead and sort that. So I highlight my IQs on my home tab. I go to the sort and filter tool in the editing group, and I sort from smallest to largest. Okay. So let me type out what I want to get. I want to find the minimum. Well, here, I want to find the mean. I want to find the count. Okay. And then when I want to find the minimum, I want to find Q1, the median, which is also Q2, third quartile, Q3, the maximum. Okay. And we'll find a few more things. Let me start with that. So now that they're ordered, a couple things you could do to count them. One thing you could do is you can start numbering them. Start a pattern, grab the pattern and go down. So you can see here we have 14 items. Okay. Another way is you could highlight your data, and on the bottom here it tells you count equals 14. Notice it also does give you the average and the sum. But if we're interested in learning the formula, I'll go ahead and justify these. We can do equals count A. That'll count the non-empty cells in a range. Here we get 14 as well. As far as the mean, we could do equals the average and select our range. Again, Control Shift down arrow will select the range if you have the first one selected. Okay. Minimum, well, since it's ordered, it's easy to see it's our first one. But the formula is equals min, min. And again, select your data range. Maximum, that's of course our last one, but the formula is equals max. And you can select our data range. Okay. Now the median, let's just recall that there is an even number. I'll type this in. So we know this is our min. We know this is our max. And our halfway mark is somewhere between 7 and 8. So we said when we had an even number, we would take the average of the two. If we had an odd number, it would just be the middle one. So this is actually our median here, is the average of these two, which the average of 136 is just 136. But we do have a formula for the median, which is equals the median. And again, I can select my number, my range, and get 136. So we had an even number of elements, so I go ahead and I'll select my first half, and I'll just signify that with yellow, and I'll get my second half, and I will, fill that with, let's say, orange. Okay. So if your list is sorted, you could just put equals the median, and we could just find the median of our first half. So that would be our 25% and 25%. And then the median of the second half would be Q3. Okay. So there we have it. There's the minimum, first quartile, the median, third quartile, and the maximum. Now another thing I want to do is I want to calculate the interquartile range, the IQR. And this is going to be equal to Q3 minus Q1. So notice that the middle 50% of the data is in that range of 17. So we said that we could calculate outliers, cutoffs for outliers, using 1.5 times the IQR rule. So let's just call this a factor. And I'm just going to be that's going to be my 1.5 times my IQR. Okay, so that's 25.5. So to get my above cutoff, then that's going to be equal to Q3 plus my factor, which again is 1.5 times the IQR. Now notice that our maximum is 170, so there are no outliers above. Then we have a below cutoff. And this one is going to be equal to Q1 minus our factor. Okay, so that's going to be 104.5, but again, our minimum is 112, so there are no outliers below either. So in this particular example, there are no outliers above or below. One of the reasons that's important to do is because before we do the box and whisker plot, we're going to want to not include the outliers in our whiskers. So we'll just signify those as points above or below our whiskers. All right, so we talked about how to make the box and whisker plot. I'm going to talk about that in my next video.